All right, and we're live. All right, so going over some things today, doing some TurboTax live tutorials. If you haven't done so already, make sure you click the link in the description below so I can get a little chunk of the change when you go to buy TurboTax, just to help support this channel, continue me making these videos to help you guys out. On the agenda, if all else prevails and no random comments come up that throw me off here, what do we got here? Electric vehicle tax credit, need to amend a 22 return. This is based off a comment that I got on a previous video. How to enter tax payments into TurboTax, like tax payments you've made, like quarterly payments outside of like your normal paychecks. A backdoor Roth, got some questions on backdoor Roth, so I'll address that one in specific that I went over today with someone who called in. So I'll go over kind of what happened with his situation. Well, it's kind of sort of, I guess. We'll see. And we'll do the dependent care credit. So if you had your kids in preschool or daycare, sorry, and you had to pay for that while you were at work, how to get that credit. It's like a $600 credit for one. Well, depending upon your, tax, how much income you have and how much you paid, but it's generally like $600 for one kid, $1,200 for two, with a max of two, obviously. And I had another question online: how to change your address with the IRS. Let's say like you filed a tax return and you moved after that, and you want to update your address before filing your next tax return. So kind of how to get that done. So let's go. Let's get this stuff done. Let's log into TurboTax and start cranking this stuff out. As always, if you have any questions that I'm not addressing and you want me to kind of bring those up, make sure you leave your question in the chat box there, and I'll go ahead and address your question, or at least do my best to address that as we're live. And if I can't do that live, then maybe I'll do it during the week, and I'll just make a video and post that, because I'm assuming more people also have that same question that you do. All right, so without further ado, the screenshot of TurboTax. All right, let's do this. So let's see here. Let's say we got to get back in here. How do we get back to changing my tax return? So I'm going to address that first one, the electric vehicle tax credit. You know what? Actually, I'm going to start with that backdoor Roth, kind of how to do that backdoor Roth in TurboTax. I have a video for this. So, if you want kind of like a more streamlined approach to this, so you don't see me kind of fumbling around here, and you want to see like a video where it just gets to the point, make sure you check out the video, or the channel for that, and search how to do a backdoor Roth TurboTax, and it's in there. It's a great video. I think I made it last year, but it still pertains, to today. So make sure you check that out. But nonetheless, I saw someone who reached out to me, and they're like, man, I put it in and I don't see the non-deductible option on here, but I'm not quite sure why. Maybe it's because he already makes too much income to contribute to a traditional, so it's already automatically making it non-deductible. But nonetheless, okay, let's go through this. How do we do a backdoor Roth? So we first start with the contribution to a traditional IRA. So we would click on this deductions and credits. I'm going to scroll down. I just like using the search bar here. It makes it so easy. I don't have to kind of do anything. Just type whatever you have, like IRA, right? That's what we're doing. Traditional IRA contribution. Here we go. So I click on here, and then, who made the contribution? Is it you or your wife? And what did you do, traditional or Roth? So for backdoor Roth, we start with the traditional. So we put it into a traditional. So that's what I'm going to say here. I'm going to hit continue. Is this a repayment of a retirement distribution? I'm going to say no. We're doing backdoor Roth. We're just contributing into this. Let's say I put $6,000 into this traditional IRA, and then I did it, let's say, this year. Maybe I can do it this year, because you have until the due date of the return to contribute to the prior years. So, right, we have until April to do for 2023. So when you go to make the contribution at your brokerage account, you would just essentially it'll have that option to select, do you want to contribute this for 2024 or 2023, right? The current year or the prior year. So we're going to say, yep, we did this for the prior year, hit continue. A lot of people do this. Did we do a recharacterization? Kind of rare. I'm going to say, no, we didn't do this. We're doing a backdoor Roth, okay? Any excess IRA contributions before? We'll say no again, continue. any non-deductible. So from prior years, do we make any non-deductible IRA contributions? And I'm going to say no in this case. This is our first year doing a backdoor Roth, okay? Hit continue. So it's saying my income too high, which puts me over the limit to deduct the contribution. You can't have income over 136 while being covered by a retirement plan at work. Okay, it is what it is. Click next. So now I'm going to say I want to elect this as a non-deductible contribution. So you put it into a traditional IRA. Generally, the reason why you put it into a traditional IRA is because you want this pre-tax. To get it pre-tax, you have to have it deductible. So making it non-deductible essentially makes it like a Roth contribution, but it's in a traditional. So this is that backdoor Roth again. Okay, so I'm going to say it's non-deductible. Continue. Right, so our IRA deduction is 0, of course. I put non-deductible. Hit continue. And voila, there's that. So now how do we check that I did that properly? You know what? Before I do that, I'm going to actually do it. Okay, so that is the contribution into the traditional IRA, electing it non-deductible. Now, what we're supposed to do is now convert it to a Roth because this is already after tax. It's non-deductible. If it was deductible, it would be pre-tax, right? So if it's after tax, we got to get it out of that pre-tax account and into a Roth. The way you do it is you go to your brokerage account and you convert this traditional IRA to a Roth. You don't have taxes taken out because there should be no taxes here. Now, sometimes there is a difference in the contribution and now where the account is at now because there's like a timing issue, right? Markets go up, markets go down, blah, blah, blah. You put $6,000 in and now it's at like $6,100. And let's say you want to pull the $6,100 out all into a Roth. You can do that. But that $100 is going to be taxed. The $6,000 will not, okay? So, it's okay. It's just a little bit of tax on that. It happens. Unfortunately, that's how that goes. So how do we do the conversion? So once you do the conversion, it will produce a 1099-R. Now, you won't get the 1099-R until you do the conversion. So like I went over this with actually somebody over the phone today, and he contributed, just last week into a traditional IRA, wanted to do this non-deductible, the whole backdoor Roth. And then he was like, well, where's my 1099-R? I said, well, when did you convert it? And he said, I just converted it. I said, well, if you converted it this year, you won't get the 1099-R till next year, okay? But you will need to report the contribution as non-deductible in 2023 because that's what you elected it for. And then that amount will carry forward on your tax return on the Form 8606. I'll show you that in a second. And then it will reconcile with that 1099 that you get next year for it to be non-deductible or non-taxable, that conversion from the traditional to the Roth. I know this stuff is like gobbledygook and it's not fun and it makes no sense. But unfortunately, it's the world we live in, and this is just how we do it. I would agree. I would not set the rules up the same way, but it is what it is, okay? So let's say now we converted it, and we have a 1099-R, right? Let's do that. Let me pull up a 1099-R here. That is redacted. This is actually from my, okay, there it is. Yep, $6,000, okay? So if you do the conversion, right, it's going to produce this little code here, code 2, which is the way to do it, right? And it will also have that, right, IRA box checked. So we would go to put this 1099-R in wages and income. Again, I'm just going to scroll down here and just put 1099-R. It'll probably pop right up. There it is. Voila. 1099-R. There it is. I'm going to put revisit this guy. And yep, we got a 1099-R. Here it is. Okay? We can pretend this says 2023. Deal. Okay? Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section there, and I will address those as we go. If they're, nothing from the agenda here, that's fine. Or if you haven't done so already, use our link in the description so I can get a little chunk of the change. All right, let's continue here. Okay, so I guess you can import it from the financial institution, but I don't have one, so change how I enter is what I'm going to put here, okay? I'm going to upload it from my computer. Hit continue. And drag and drop. See what happens here. Good luck, TurboTax. See how we do. All right. Who does a 1099 belong to? I'm going to say it's me, right? Continue. And we found something wrong with your info. Okay, good. Thanks. Have one more. Nope, that's it. So, wait. Have more than one? You can start with any of them right now. We'll add the rest later. So I'm just going to hit continue. Nope, 1099R. There it is. Financial institution. That's what I got it from. What's the difference? Yeah, so these are actually kind of rare, these three here. This is usually what I see. Okay, and especially from a backdoor Roth, you're definitely going to get one from the financial institution. So hit continue. And here we go. We would just add, right? Betterment is the broker here. Address, we'll say this is a U.S. address. Well, here we go. And, you're just going to get it from your 1099. Obviously, I redacted all this stuff, so we can't see it on here, and that's why TurboTax is having trouble to pick it all up. But you would just put it all in there. It's all located right there anyways. So, 1, 2, 3, that's fine. Whatever. Newport, CA. Okay. And the taxpayer identification number. Okay, deal. There we go. And this would all be, let's see here. It would all be somewhere in this area, essentially on this 1099R, but it's all redacted. So you have to find where that taxpayer, it's either EIN, taxpayer identification number, something like that. It's going to show on there, okay? Hit continue. And here we go, $6,000, right? We'll just get it straight from there. Box 1 and 2. There it is, $6,000. 6,000. And it's going to say taxable amount not determined and a total distribution, at least in this case, because the same amount that we put into the traditional, we're converting and putting into the Roth here. Again, backdoor Roth here. Okay, so it's yes and yes here. Say yes, taxable amount, total distribution, and distribution code. Very important that we do check that box too. You'll see that box here is done properly. Again, if you convert your traditional to your Roth, that's how we do the backdoor, it's going to have that box 2 code there. You'll have this IRA box checked too because this is a traditional IRA. Well, there we go. Wrong box. Here we go. There it is. Box checked. Okay. Boom. And there it is. Okay. If there's no cost basis, do you add each one by one? Kelly Lee, you're going to have to be a little more specific on this. In terms of what we're doing right now, I'm doing the backdoor Roth. There would be like no cost basis to this thing, okay? This is contributions and conversions. So whatever you contributed and whatever's on that 1099 is essentially what we're doing here. The quote cost basis in this is like whatever your contribution is, the contribution amount. So if you have like prior years like basis, and I'll show that in a second on the form 8606, we should have put that in the deductions credits. It's not going to show that again. Just let me know if you want me to show you that, how to do that. Essentially, like if you contributed last year and you need to make sure we populate that on this return here as like a non-deductible contribution to an IRA. But you got to be a little more specific there with exactly what we're looking for. No cost basis. Do you add each one by one? If we're talking about contributions and we're looking at the basis, you could just total it up is what you could do all in one line. All right, so I'm going to go back, just finish kind of what I've been working on here, the $6,000, right? Again, from the 1099, boom, continue. You don't owe any extra taxes. That's good, right? So we're going to see how this now looks. Do any of these situations apply? Take this money out to disaster. No, no, no. No, 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 no. None of these apply. Deal. Okay. Tell us if you move the money through a rollover conversion. There it is, converted. I rolled over some or all of it to an IRA. Okay. There it is, right? Boom. Conversion. Convert it to the Roth, right? Continue. Did you convert all? Yes, we converted all to the Roth. Continue. Oh, and we're done. Now we want to double check our work. Have you ever taken a disaster distribution? I say no. Okay, what else? Any non-deductible IRA from prior years. So this is, Kelly, this has to do with, I think, your question here, the non-deductible contributions from prior years. So like if you do have the basis in prior years, you would hit yes. Let's do it. And I could just put a total there. I don't have to do one by one like you're saying. Let's say I have like 2 years there. $12,000 basis, right? There it is. Continue. And attach explanation. So like here, tell us the value. Do we even have to? No, I don't think so. Okay, let's look at I want to review this now on what this looks like on a tax return, okay? So let's see here. To review, this is generally how I review. I click this file button, continue, okay, continue. I want to change this to a file by mail so I can look at what this thing looks like. Continue, and I know there's lots of errors, but I'm going to continue printing without fixing. Let's see what this thing looks like. Okay, here we go. All right, again, if you have any questions, something I'm not working on here and you want me to work on that now, feel free to put that in the chat. I'll try my best to work on this thing. All right, so here's how we double check what we did. We go to the form 8606. Wow, did I get lucky on my first shot? I grabbed that. Ha! Form 8606, there I am, non-deductible IRAs. This is, I should just say Backdoor Roth, huh, on here. So there's the $6,000 that I put in for 2023. And Kelly, there's that $12,000 for prior years, that basis, right, for prior years, that $12,000. So I get $18,000 on there, okay? Now, non-taxable portion of your distributions, that's $6,000. So that's from the 1099. Right? Here it is actually, right? The conversion. So that's the 1099-R, this one right here, the conversion that I did. So I pulled the 6,000 out, and of that, 0 is taxable, right? Because we had basis in this. This is non-deductible we elected, okay? So 6 and 12, I had 18,000 basis. I took 6,000 of it. Essentially, I have 12,000 less left over for moving forward is really what it comes down to. So I can convert, I should be able to convert that 12,000 over tax-free as well. All right, hope that made sense. Went through that whole thing. Okay, deal, there's that one. I have the electric vehicle tax credit amendment. Let's see here. All right, if you haven't done so, make sure you click that link in the description so I can get a little chunk of the change when you go to do TurboTax. You just click that and it'll get you back into TurboTax. Nothing's changing in your end. Your fee doesn't change at all, but I get a little chunk of the change again to help support the channel. And if you haven't done so and you think I'm giving you a little value, help me out. Hit that like button, share it with somebody that you think might need some help with TurboTax. I do this every Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific time, and I address anybody's questions here. Awesome. Okay, deal. Here we go. All right, so on to the next one. I'm going to do, let's see here, maybe an easy one. Tax payments. How do we do tax payments? Like, let's say you have quarterly tax payments, and you want to get those tax payments into TurboTax. Let's do it. You know what? I've actually never done this, so we'll see where that goes. Other situations. I'm assuming other situations, say tax payments. Additional tax payments. Look at that. All right, so to do tax payments, got lucky. You hit that other tax situations, just click tax payments in there. Boom, there you go. Early payments, additional tax payments and repayments. Start. Okay, so here we go. Any other taxes? These are not common. I'm just going to say no, none of these. We're just putting in our tax payments that we've made. Wait, what? Okay, maybe not. I thought I got super lucky there, but I didn't. Let's try and find where this goes. Wages and income, deductions and credits, maybe. Put it in here, tax payments. There it is. There it is, estimated tax payments. So deductions and credits, come down here. I just put tax pay, and it popped right up. Hit start there. All right, you're welcome for the clarification. Hope that guy really helped you guys out for that Backdoor Roth. I know that thing is super annoying and confusing, but I'm glad I could help. All right, let's do these payments. Federal estimated tax payments. Let's do it. So essentially, you know if you've made payments to the IRS. It's not fun to do. I do it all myself every year as well. I run my own little business, right? I got to pay taxes as well. I do this myself. Not fun. But anyways, here we go. Did you pay for it? Yes, I did, or I wouldn't click that button. So here you go. It's simple as that. Wow, look at that. So you just got to look up the date you made the payment and how much you made the payment for. So let's say we made, $2,000 there, every quarter we did a $2,000 payment. Let's do that. Deal. And you obviously have to adjust what day you actually made the payment. These are when they were due. Obviously, they pre-fill those out. But if you have additional, it makes it pretty easy. You just hit that additional, right? That's it. There we go. We paid the $8,000. Continue. That's it. Wow, easy. And for states, they're right there. State is right there as well. So, well, yep, we paid estimated state taxes. Let's do this one too. So California's kind of a little wonky. They do 3 payments, and they essentially split it up between the first, second, and fourth quarter. And it's like 30%, 40%, 30%. So let's do that. I don't even know where I'm at, but I'm just going to put a little bit in there. Okay. And that's it. Boom. Done. There's our... That was relatively quick and easy to do tax payments. Okay. Well, there's tax payments. Now, let's do that tough one. Electric vehicle tax credit amendment. Okay, so someone came through and had a question on this. So I will address that. And how do we do that? Okay, so we go back to tax home. To do the amendment, you're going to have to go to tax home here. And I believe scroll all the way down here to do a prior year amendment. Yep, click on that 2022. So let's say 22, we need to amend this thing because we need to put the electric vehicle tax credit there. Okay, and change and amend right there. Boom. There it is. Let's get lucky and just let me do this. Right. Well. Okay, so we want to do no, update tax form, no, change other. So change other info on my return, I guess. I don't know. I don't really think it matters what you click, but just going to start doing the amended return. Duh. Okay, here's info from your amended federal. Okay, that's fine. That's cool. Okay. We need to add a credit, right? That's what we're going to do. So let's do that. Add a deduction or credit. Okay. Scroll on down. Let's just hit that search button, right? EV, well, electric vehicle. Come on, get lucky. Energy efficient vehicles. There we go. Revisit. Oh, look at that. I already had one in there. Let's say I want to add another one. But this is essentially how you do the amended return for that electric vehicle tax, right? You just come in here and do it just this way. This is exactly how we get to that part that that person was asking for. So let's see here. This is a plug-in. What type of alternative energy vehicle did you buy? A plug-in electric drive, right? This is generally what it is for the electric vehicle. Hit continue. Tell us what type of vehicle. My vehicle has 4 wheels. There we go. Okay, well, those ones don't qualify. Okay, we know. Okay, deal. Year of this thing, 22, I believe is the one that we had in the example too. And that's it. And then we got to just type in some, some specs on this thing. I don't know. Hit some random stuff on there. Okay, deal. Ferrari makes electric. Wow, that's pretty cool. Let's do a Ford. I'll do the Mustang, right? The Mustang, they make the electric Ford Mustang. Let's say we acquired it 8/15/2022. Placed it into service in 23, I think is what happened. 01/05/2023. The amount of at least, I don't even know what these things, I'm sure we got to just like Google this, right? It would be Ford Mustang electric car. Let's see, what do they got? Kilowatt hours. Let's see, what does it give me? $91 kilowatt. I don't even know. Jeez. Okay. Well, we gotta just like look into this, right? 70. So it's like a 70. Let's do the 70. Okay, deal. Gross vehicle weight. Gross vehicle weight. Let's see what it gives me. Let me just look up these specs, right? Let's click on this thing here. Where's it? Control F, weight. Here we go. Well, that's the curb weight. The gross is heavier, right? Just like Control F, gross. Gross, GV, I think is what it is. GV something, no? Oh, come on. Let's get lucky. Vehicle, and it doesn't give it to me. Okay, not easily found. I bet it's on here somewhere and I'm just missing it. Let's just put that 4890, okay? Let's just do that, 4890, but obviously you'll have to figure this out on your own for whatever car you have there, okay? Boom, there it is, okay, check your dates. Okay, give me a second. I want to see that actual one that they have there. Let's see here. The one that is from our YouTube channel itself. Okay, I'm going to look up in my comments. I'm going to try and find out. What their dates are there, so I can at least address this properly here. Okay, let's do it. Comments and amend. I think I searched it last by typing in amend, and I found it real quick. Amend. Search this thing. The electric vehicle. There it is. Okay, deal. So how do I submit an amended return for an EV ordered before August 16th, binding contract, but received delivery January of 2024? Okay, 24, geez. From the IRS site, if you entered a written binding contract to buy after 2021, but before August 16, 22, but took delivery on or after, you may elect to claim the credit based on prior rules. To elect the credit under the prior rules, you must elect the credit on your 22 return after you take delivery of the vehicle. Depending upon the date the vehicle is delivered, you can claim the credit on your original superseding or amended 22 tax return. Okay. Date placed in service must be in. Okay, so let's say we place it in service. Wait, why? You can remove this vehicle as not placed in service. Okay, so I got to look into the rules on that. Why is that not allowing me to do that? Yeah, I guess this is only allowing us to do that if I put that in. You know what? I'm going to have to get back on this because I didn't do the research into this. This is like just so we see kind of what I'm looking into here. This is zoomed in a little too much here. Right, this is like from someone who just commented on this yesterday here. Right, and they kind of just did this here. So I'd have to look into the rules on this, to make sure if we're doing this properly on the TurboTax. My VIN number is invalid. Love it. Okay, so I'd have to take a look into this to make sure we're doing this properly. But if it's done properly, I mean, we should be able to just amend it like this, essentially. Okay, and then do this. Maybe TurboTax needs to update their software here to allow for this to kind of go through if you put it into place like, 0101, right? Continue. Yeah. So I'd have to take a look into that, make sure I'm doing that properly. All right, let's move on here. So essentially, to amend the return, I'm doing it the proper way. Now, can we do this? I haven't looked into the specific rules that just came out, so don't quote me on this stuff, but essentially the logistics on how to do it, I just kind of showed you how to do that. Okay, let's move on to my next one here. This is a real popular one, how to do the dependent care credit on TurboTax. Okay, so this is going to be, if you sent your kid to preschool or like daycare and while you were working and you want to claim those expenses as a credit on your tax return, right? How exactly do we do this? So here we go. Let's take a look. Okay, so I'm going to go back into my account here and see what we got. Again, if you have any questions on something I am not addressing here, be sure to leave that in the comment. I'll try and just do it as you ask the question. Okay? But if not, I'm going to work on this dependent care credit here. Again, use my link in the description below if you haven't done so already. And so I can get a little chunk of the change whenever you go to buy TurboTax. It doesn't change your price at all, though. All right, here we go. Deductions and credits. On to do the dependent care credit. Sending your kid to daycare or preschool, right? Let's see here. I'm just going to put care. What if I just put care? Oh, there it is. Wait, care credits. There we go. Child dependent care credits. So this is like that preschool. I sent my kid to preschool and I need to get the care credit. It turns out you don't qualify for these credits. Ha! So why? Is that because my income? Is it an income thing? Or is it like because both of us, I think we both have to have income? Maybe both me and my wife have to have income. Let's make sure we both do. Let's do that real quick. Okay. So in order to get the dependent care credit, both you and your wife have to work. If one of them doesn't, if one of you don't work, essentially the IRS is whatever their logic on this stuff is. If that, whoever's not working can take care of the kids, why are they going to give you a credit for it? So both of you have to work in order to get the credit. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add another W-2 so we can get this credit. So I can show you how to do it. Okay. There's my lovely EIN. Okay, I'm just going to type it in myself. And here we go. Employer's name. Do I even have to fill any of this stuff out? Can I just hit continue? No, I can't. Tax. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Boom. There we go. Continue. Okay, so what about 20,000? Let's say 2,000. And all this stuff in. Come on. Come on. Let's just. Okay, that's fine. Just continue. Illustration purposes. Oh, come on. I don't want to put it in. I'm just going to say none. Continue. All right. There we go. So she's in there. Now let's do the dependent care credit. Care. Let's do. There it is. Revisit. Boom. All right. Turns out you don't qualify for this. Child tax, here's why you don't qualify. You don't qualify because you did not have any dependents that meet the qualifications. Oh, of course, I got to put some dependents on my tax returns, huh? Deal, that makes sense. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, this is all good, yeah. Child, okay, I got a child right there. I need to update. Let's do some updating. Wait, so why do they not qualify? None of the above. Okay, continue. I have a child. Yes. Yes. Did the child pay for? No. We're looking good. Okay. Deal. Let's get some more info. Who will be claiming? Yes. No, there's not. Do you have written? No, we don't. Okay. Where did child spend the most of the nights? Okay. Okay, continue. Boom. Let's check if any relative will claim. No. Okay, just us. We want to claim. All right, let's go. Good news. Child calls. Okay, deal. Nice. Dependent. Okay, well, let's try and do this one more time. Come on. Here we go. Whew. Okay, so why did that not let us get the dependent care credit? Man, TurboTax is frustrating because both people, taxpayer and spouse, both need jobs or income in order to get the credit because the credit is only available to allow for you to work, essentially. Quote, that's what that's for. And on top of that, you got to have a dependent, which obviously I guess I didn't have one already input in there. And then on top of that as well, you have to like spend essentially more on your preschool or daycare or care essentially than what you earn in income. Okay, so let's go through this. Let's do it. Here we go. Do any of these uncommon situations apply? Did we get a notice? No, we don't do any of that. It's uncommon. Congrats, you get a tax break. Okay, done. Where's my dependent care credit? Oh, duh, the next one. There it is. Deal, let's do it. Did you pay for dependent care? Yes. So here I have a redacted little statement that, we got, I guess, from the child care place. Okay, so we can kind of go through this, but essentially, right, it's going to have some info like, what's the name of the place, their address, phone number, tax ID, stuff like that, and then like kind of what we paid for the tuition here, okay? This would qualify. This would qualify. Harvest Week, Christmas dinner, I guess. This is all tuition. All these, look at, they have as tuition charges. So this 13,000 qualifies, okay? So that's what we're going to say. Yep, we do have that. So, and if you don't have this and you did pay for preschool, you have to go back to the preschool or the daycare and get this from them, because if you don't have their tax ID, it's not going to allow you to get this. You're going to find out in a second. Did you pay for child dependent care credit? Yes, we did. Whose care did you pay for? Child. Continue. Total amount. So you're just going to look back at your statement that you got from the daycare or the preschool, right? $13,168. Wow, look at that. Not chump change, huh? There we go. Done. And now we have to get some information, right? So like you have to put the tax ID. So you're going to have like, daycare, care, and then you put the tax ID, whatever made up number that I just did. And then all the information like 800, bam. Our number, we'll put our number. Oh, look at daycare for EA tax 0596. That's us. 123. Report. Maybe I can just do the zip code. No, it didn't work. Okay. CA. Just do it like that. Total paid for this provider, right? It's that 13,000 that we did. I guess if you have multiple providers, that's where it like kind of gets a little tricky. In the first part, you have to put the total amount, and then you have to put here amount you paid for each of the providers, I guess. The daycare places. 13168. Is this child care? No, it's not a household employee. This is an actual like organization here. Before we continue, we thought you should know. Oh, okay. So it's telling me, an FSA, flexible spending account. It's giving me some tax advice, I guess. An FSA is great, but you have to do that through, I believe, your employer to do an FSA. So that's something you have to talk to your employer. That would be like a benefit perk that they offer. Boom, done. There it is. Did you pay for any 22? No, we're going to say we only did 23. Boom, there it is. Voila. There it is, $600 credit we just got. Awesome. Nice. All right, so there's the dependent care credit. Nice. Okay. Do we have any other questions? How to change an address with the IRS. Ooh, I did get that comment here. What was it? Let's look at that comment here. Change address, right? Change address. Let's see. No? Oh, I did spell that right. AD address. Oh, come on. Let's just go to comments. Refresh. We can do it. No, I haven't responded to ones that I did respond. Here we go, right? What if my address is wrong after I send taxes in? They have my dad's, not my driver's license listed. Also, is it a quick fix or an amend? So to change your address after you've already filed, either you wait till the new year to put your new address on a tax return, or it's not that quick of a fix, unfortunately. Let's see here. Change address, IRS. There's a form that we file for this. What is it? The 8822. I mean, it's not super complicated, this form, but this is how you would change your address with the IRS. If you've already filed your tax return, you want to update it essentially. So, you'll check this box for individual. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Your name, your social, if you have a spouse. I guess if you had prior names, that makes sense. your old address that you had on that tax return, and then, the new address that you want to put. Voila, sign it, send it back. Where do we send it to? Good question. Here you go. This is where we send it to. Depends on what state we're in, right? Where this goes to. So just look on this page here where we would send this in and just mail this thing in. That's it. Simple as that. Is there like a fax number that we get faxes to? No? Boom. There you go. I mean, this is where you did. If you did not check box 2. Most of these didn't check box 2. We checked box 1. So if we're states, we're not a states. So that's how we amend the return. All right. Well, man, I hope the video was helpful, or my stream here. I don't really have anything else to kind of go over here today, unless excess distributions of S corps. Ooh, fun stuff. I like these comments, man. These are like actually like tricky ones to go through. I can go through some of these questions. Single member of LLC filed in Montana. Am I filing an LLC for myself? It was my first year. Yeah, you do the LLC on your personal income tax return. This is where that LLC was going to go. It goes on a Schedule C, essentially, generally, depending upon how you elect this. But yeah, that would go on your personal tax return on Schedule C. Let's see here. Thank goodness. Oh, offer and compromise. Good job. Hopefully you can get an offer for yourself. So can I file 1099 SSA, the Social Security? What I'm saying is it's taxable. These things are taxable depending upon your other income. It's up to 85% of your income from Social Security that can be taxable, but it depends on other income that's on your tax return if this is taxable. If Social Security is the only income that you had, this thing is not taxable. All right, here we go. So I most likely have excess distributions since my S corp purchased my personal properties under my name. Ouch. I am 100% shareholder. How can I avoid tax on? How can you avoid taxes on distributions? Wow, great question, man. Avoid taxes on distributions. I mean, there could be like a loan, but you've got to, document this thing properly, man. Like you have a loan, essentially, you have to start paying back to the S corp for that excess distribution. Or you would say this is a capital gain on distributions and have it be taxable that way. Those are like the two ways to do it generally. And yeah, loans to shareholders are kind of flaggy on the return. So be careful with that. Make sure you do cross your T's, dot your I's. Question, are you planning on doing a crypto-related video pertaining to distributions from bankruptcies like FTX or Celsius? That's a great question. Man, I'm not planning on that. I need some material in order to get one of those things done. So if you have material, you want to send it over to me, I'll redact it and I'll go over it for you on my stream here. But essentially the bankruptcy from FTX or Celsius, I'm not so sure if those bankruptcies have gone through yet. If the bankruptcy has gone through, then, then those cryptos would be considered, the IRS considers them worthless at that point. And if they are considered worthless, you should be getting some documentation that, bankruptcy went through and your stuff is worthless. And then, yeah, we could put it on the return and I could definitely show you how to do that. I mean, believe it or not, it's actually pretty straightforward to do that. It's capital gains, right, is the way that would work. And so, you bought the stock, the crypto for $1,000. It's now worthless. It's zero. $1,000 basis, zero sales price, boom, send that in. And we would probably, in this case, attach that to the tax return because the IRS is going to be like, what? This is worthless. We're going to want to take a look at this. And if you have already the attachment of that like bankruptcy notice, for the exchange on there, they're not going to come after you at all. So you wouldn't have to like explain yourself later. But I could definitely do that. Again, if you could send over some documentation on that, Kelly, I'll do the video specifically for you. But I just don't have the material for that. So yeah, maybe give us a call here. And we can set you up kind of like with our tax portal and you can just upload it there and I'll do it on my stream like next week. I'll get it ready and have it just ready to go. Just bang that thing out for you. But it's pretty straightforward on how to get that done. Okay? Awesome. Okay, deal. There's that. Here's our number, by the way, 800-245-0596. Give us a call. I got my assistant here, so he can answer the call if you want to call now, and he'll get you squared away with our portal, okay? Let's do the... All right, what else do we have in terms of questions? Deal with excess contributions. To an IRA. Fun stuff, man. You got to take that stuff out. You got excess contribution to an IRA. For example, I contributed $7,500, allowed to the limit in 23 to traditional IRA in my Vanguard account. But before I was able to transfer the money to a Roth, the value became, so that's not excess. So essentially, yeah, like, so you would just, all you would do is transfer that 79, you would transfer the full amount. You do the total distribution to the Roth. But yeah, then the 90 cents will become taxable. Yeah, you got to pay. Yeah, exactly. You already have the answer here, man. You're going to be taxed on that. So you'll distribute the whole amount of the $7,590, and it'll appear on the 1099-R. And then you will get that as the 90 cents will be taxable, essentially, is what it'll be. It'll be pretty straightforward. There's a huge audience on Twitter looking for this information. Well, how about this, Kelly? I'll do the video, and then I'll post it on Twitter. Maybe you can help us out with where on Twitter that is, and then I can post that on there, and we can help them out. Awesome. I appreciate that. How to get tax return transcripts for the last 5 years. I only see 3 years. Okay, so last 5 years to get transcripts. Essentially, man, if you only see 3 on yours, you got to call the IRS to get these, or you file a form. What is it? 4606T, I believe is what it is. Voila, look at that. 4506. Okay, deal. There it is. Yeah, 4506. So essentially, how do we get the other years? You can file this form here asking for what transcripts we're looking for, right? Transcripts requested. So, 1040 is what you would put there. And then most likely, I'm assuming you're looking for account transcripts. I'm not quite sure. Or whatever transcripts they are for, wage and income transcripts, W-2s, whatever they may be. And then, whatever years you're looking for here. Enter the end date of the year requested in the format, right? Just follow the instructions here. It's pretty straightforward form. And then, like, how do you send this in, right? It's going to have where to send this stuff in here, right here. Okay? Look, they got fax numbers too. Boom, you can fax it in. That's what I probably do. Fax this thing using like an e-fax system. Depending upon, again, what state you're in is where you send the stuff in. Okay, deal. So that's how you get the transcripts from like older years, essentially. Or you give them a call. You should be able to give them a call and they can mail them to you too. Kind of same thing. You can call them in and they'll mail them. What if 100% shareholder? Oh, I addressed this earlier. Same lady. Yep. Deal. Great video. Having serious problem with getting an apartment because of my pay stubs. And couldn't get my bank account. Figured it. Okay, good deal. Good for you. Glad we can help you out. I started a Roth for the first time through my job, but when I go to the website, it says I will not get a tax form. That's correct. If it's through your job, payroll figure this stuff out. Do I still need to choose? I contribute. No, you don't, because why? This will be actually on your W-2. There's a box 12 coded AA on there. So payroll essentially lets the IRS know, and it'll have that amount next to it on how much you contributed to that. I think it's like a Roth 401k through your employer. So no, there's no need when you contribute to a Roth through your employer, through your paychecks, to report that on TurboTax. You're doing the right thing. You know what you're doing here, okay? What if my W-2 doesn't show RSUs, but I received a statement of taxable income that has W-2 income? This would be, yes, that is correct. So we would have to, unfortunately, report that as income on there. Papa Murad, love you too, brother. Thanks for for supporting us, man. Make one from Morgan Stanley, please. Okay, so, actually, I looked into this, man, and Morgan Stanley, I believe, is E-Trade. Well, everything I see from Morgan Stanley is E-Trade, so I'm not quite sure about this. I believe it's all through E-Trade, so I don't know. You might want to have to just ask Morgan Stanley for that additional, what do they call it, like the supplemental stock plan there, okay? How do I submit? Answered that question. I drove for Uber Eats. All I have in tax document, no official, right? Can I request a 1099? The tax summary is a little vague. So the tax summary should actually have the amount of income there. But yeah, I believe you like earn, shoot, under $600, they're not going to actually produce a 1099. So that's essentially what's going on here. But the tax summary should have the total amount that you earned on there. Maybe I can kind of quickly find this. No, I don't have it on this computer. Man. Okay. Let's see here. Keep going. Thanks. Is the OIC a good vehicle to pay my outstanding tax bill? The original principal minus, let's say I asked the IRS, hey, I love this question, man. We get this question all the time. Offering compromise, most people don't qualify for, okay? That's number one, Scott. Number two, when you put in an offer, though, it's for the whole amount. Penalties, interest, taxes owed, okay? It's not like, I want to piecemeal this for just the penalties or just the tax bill. It's not like that. Offering compromise is an all or nothing type deal. This is what I'm offering. Will you take it for my full bill? Taxes, interest, and penalties included, okay? But again, you know, if you go through my video there, I do describe on how that offering compromise works. So there's a formula to it. It's not like this, like, hey, I'll pay the taxes minus the penalties and interest. It's not like that. It's only if you qualify. The qualifications I do go through specifically in this video, or I have a whole bunch of other videos on the actual forms, like the 433A OIC, on how to fill that form out to qualify for an offering compromise. So make sure you check that out if you really think that this is something you want to do. It's a big process, though. Watch that video through. The offering compromise for dummies video is great. Excellent video. Thank you so much. Awesome. Went through 3 TurboTax Live. Awesome. Glad. I love being able to help people out. I have a 1099 consolidation from a brokerage, right? Usually, but it also has a 1099 miscellaneous. It has something to do with investment in tax-free municipal bonds, maybe. I don't know. The 1099 miss just has one number on line 8, substitute payment in lieu of dividends or interest. How do I enter that into TurboTax? It says add 1099. It goes down this rabbit hole of what kind of business. Oh, no. Okay, when it has nothing to do with any kind of business. Okay. Maybe I can kind of quickly address that. Let's see what happens here. Income. Let's do the 1099 miscellaneous. Maybe I can kind of quickly get that done before I got to get out of here. MISC. Boom. Revisit. Add another one. So box 8 you said. Okay. Let's just do this. Bank 1. Okay. Rents, none of this. Okay, continue. Has other info in boxes 1 through 18. There you go. Okay, not quite sure what happened there, man. I just kind of quickly went through that, and it showed, he said it went through a rabbit hole of what kind of business. It has nothing to do with business. Here you go. You just put it in here. So when you go to that 1099 miscellaneous, it has that drop down of this little box right here. My form has info in boxes 1 through 18. There it is, box 8. Substitute payments. You just add that in there, right? $1,000. Say. Continue. Do either you have another? No, let's just say no. See what happens. Boom, done. There you go. That was it. Look, how far back can I go? You really have to, depends what we're trying to do, man, how far you can go back to get transcripts. But you can go into that tool there to get the transcripts online and kind of look what they have online. But then they also, you can always get more, essentially, by requesting that, either by going to the form 4506 to request transcripts, right, and fill this out and fax this thing in or mail it in, depending upon where you live, or you just give them a call. Donation alerts. You're right. I should add donation alerts. Where are my donations at, man? I'm not quite sure. I'll do that, though. Here we go. Show your support. Send an ad. Show support, right? Super chat. I'm not quite sure, man, how that works. Pop up Murad. I'll figure that. You should add donation alerts in your streams. I'll do that, man. I'm not quite sure why I'm not. I thought I had that set up, to tell you the truth. Okay, I have a question. How far can I go back? I have a question. I know of how the amount that I have to put in line 3. Let's take a look. 433A, AOIC, right? You have a question. Whoops, no, right there. So we're looking, what are we looking at, man? Let's look at Section, where is it? We're looking at the 401ks, right? Where is that at? Rental properties, no, maybe it's up here. Here we go. So let's say we have 401k, right? So this, I mean, it's, okay, so we're gonna do this. 8,900 is gonna go here, right? Times 0.8, so let's do a little bit of mathematics. Boom, 7120 is gonna go here. Boom, minus loan value balance. Okay, what's the loan value? We have 1929. 1929. Boom. There you go. There it is. This situation would work. Okay. Hope that was helpful. Deal. I think let's see here. If it's soil, it looks like I already answered that question in a video. What if you're a non-employee of an S Corp? Two owners, one is active, the other is not. Me. Since I'm not active, I don't have to pay myself a salary. But can I still get my percentage of distribution? If so, how would it be reported on taxes? Thanks, can't find the answer. So it's essentially going to be on your K-1. You just put it on the S Corp tax return. So in the S Corp return, you would put on the K-1, what is it, K-1 1120S, right? Let's take a look at one of those. Down here, there should be like a percentage, current year allocation percentage. There you go. So you're going to put that percentage when you prepare the S Corp tax return itself. It'll have that percentage that you, let's see here, of the distributions. That's it. So that's how it's going to be reported. So it'll be there, and then essentially it'll go on, I believe it's other information. Yeah, I believe in other information, box 7, man. Don't quote me on this, but I believe it's here. There's going to be a code here for the distribution, the amount of distribution that you get. Okay, so that'll go there. Gosh, is that where it goes? Let me see. K-1, there should be, and you'll get taxed here, ordinary, like your percentage of that right there. So you get taxed on your percentage, and then there'll be a distribution amount based on, maybe it's on box 16. Man, I'm not quite sure. I'd have to look into the rules on this one. Awesome. I think that's it. That's all I'm going to go over. Mine isn't updated. What else? What else do I got? I think that's it, man. Okay. All right. So I went through a lot of questions here. Good deal. Well, again, if you haven't done so already, use my link in the description below, TurboTax, so I can get a little chunk of the change. And if you want to help on another situation like Kelly here, that we're going to help out, I believe, next week, hopefully, on how to input, like worthless stock or worthless properties into TurboTax. Make sure you comment on our videos or in the chat box here. And I'll be back next week, Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific time, and I'll help out for about an hour. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much.